Hello everyone, my name is James McBratney. You might know me better as Jimmy Mac's, where I am the proprietor. We're so happy that today we have the rehabilitation crew at Jimmy Mac's enjoying lunch and hopefully participating later in our 50-50 Raising Dough program, where we donate 50% of the food portion of your meal to the Grace Foundation. I'm thrilled to be hosting Grace 10314. Can't wait to see another great show. But first, let me give you a little history about myself. I was born here in Staten Island, in the Port Richmond area, in St. Vincent's Hospital. I was raised in Port Richmond, and there I went to PS 21, little grammar school on the hill. During IS 51 years, I was a paper boy. I delivered the Staten Island Advance to 105 customers in rain, in snow, in sleet, and hail. It was one year that I will never forget. Shortly after that, I started working for Danino's. I'm sure everybody knows Danino's in Port Richmond, right down on the corner of Hooker Place and Port Richmond Avenue, which ultimately prepared me very well for opening and running Jimmy Mac's. I've been here. February 2nd will be our 33rd anniversary, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful run. I absolutely love what I do. And once again, honored to be a guest and looking forward to this awesome edition of Grace 10314. Enjoy the show.
Jimmy Mac's become Jimmy Mac's?
I worked at a pizzeria that's nearby called Danino's, and I learned all of the tricks of making pizza and all the things like that. And I had a dream one night, this is true. I didn't know what I would call my restaurant when I opened it. But when I played baseball in high school, all of my teammates called me Jimmy Mac. And I said, you know what, I think a really nice name would be Jimmy Mac's, M-A-C''S, and that would be the name. But then I thought that if it was an Irish name, M-A-C-S, people might think it was not a good Italian restaurant, so I made it M-A-X. So that's how we came up with the name Jimmy Mac's.
Wonderful. And when did you decide to open a pizzeria restaurant, and what inspired you?
I guess what inspired me at first was I thought it would be a great way to make money. I thought it would be a great job, and I'd meet people from all over the island and New York. But it quickly became much more than that for me. And I used it as a platform to reach out to the community through all organizations and non-for-profits. And that became more of the focus. And I ended up doing more business as a result of it. People wanted to do business with me because of my outreach to non-for-profits and different charities on the island.
How long have you been at this establishment?
So I opened Jimmy Mac's along with my grandfather in 1989. In fact, it was Groundhog Day in 1989. So we're coming up on our 33rd anniversary.
Are you planning on franchising?
Well, every time I'm asked that question, I tell people that all of the problems that I need are within these four walls. So although it was an aspiration of mine at first, I realize now, and especially at my age, I'm 60 years old, I don't need any more headaches and any more problems, and all that I do here is very sufficient for me.
What has been the most difficult part for you when starting this business?
Well, I think learning how to juggle and leave enough time for family time and enough time for business time. When I first opened Jimmy Mac's, I was working 18-hour days and really wasn't paying too much attention to my family and other obligations, and I was all about the restaurant. And I realized later on that there's a work-life balance that you need to achieve to keep everybody happy.
That's very true.
Thank you, Grace.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you tell us a little about your logo?
Oh, that's great. I do have a great story about the logo. So I have a friend who I played softball with years and years ago, and we were sitting after a softball game, and he's an artist, and he was a police officer as well. He ended up being a sketch artist for the Woodbridge Police Department. His name is Guy Olivieri. And he said, I got to make you a logo. And I had never really thought about it. I didn't think I needed it. I just thought I needed good food and I would be successful. And he said, I'm going to draw you up a logo. And he said, what are you going to be serving at the restaurant? I said, well, Galamad's going to be one of our specialty. Well, galamad is squid. I don't know if you guys know that. So he told me that it would be very difficult to make a galamad squid look cute. So he chose the octopus, and he said the octopus gives us 8 different arms to put things in. So if we're promoting football, the octopus can have a beer in one tentacle, a slice of pizza in another tentacle, and a football in a third. And it'll be a great way to do promotions with the octopus as the logo.
What are some of your favorite dishes here at Jimmy Mac's?
I will tell you this. People often will ask me, after all of these years being in the pizza business, you must be sick of pizza. And you know what? I still could eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love pizza. But in addition to that, I think our lasagna is very delicious. It's a family recipe that my grandfather came to the restaurant with. I love our barbecued ribs and our seafood fra diavolo. Those are probably my 3 favorites.
Do you make any of these dishes here or at home?
Well, have you ever met my wife?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Actually, no.
It's a joke. My wife doesn't cook a thing. She makes reservations. That's all she does. No, she's actually very wonderful. She makes a great Thanksgiving dinner, but then the rest of the 364 days a year, she doesn't cook much. But all of the recipes are foods that I grew up eating. My grandparents were both very good cooks. So that was, when we first opened. Now everything is made on premise. We bake our own bread, all our pizzas, everything is made in that kitchen back there.
Do you eat at other pizzerias?
That's a great question. Over the years, I have borrowed some ideas for pizza here. In fact, I don't remember the name of it, but I was at a pizzeria in the city, and I saw them making a pizza margherita, and it gave me the idea to make our own mozzarella to use on our pizza margherita here. We call it the Max Special.
What is your favorite type of pie?
My favorite pizza that we make is the MOR, and it stands for meatballs, onions, and ricotta cheese. And the story behind the MOR pizza, when I was making pizza as a kid in Danino's, my friends used to always come to visit me, and we would always try to experiment with new toppings and new ingredients because we were eating pizza for free. So we had meatballs and onions, and I sent my cousin to the store to buy some ricotta cheese to try it, and that was the first MOR pizza, and I love it, still to this day.
So if you had a pie called the Graceful Slice, what toppings would you add?
That's a really tough question. So if I had a graceful pizza named after the Grace organization, what would be the toppings? Wow. You know what? It would have to be a lot of different toppings. I'm not sure, so that it would exemplify diversity, right? Because a lot of diverse people would eat that pie.
Can you tell us a fun fact about yourself?
I'm not sure there are any fun facts about me. You can ask my wife. No, you know what? I guess the one thing I would say is that as an adult, I went back to college and finally got my degree. I got a bachelor's degree from CSI when I was 44 years old. And just last year, I got my master's degree from Villanova. So I got both of my degrees as an adult. I thought it was very important for me to go back to school and finish what I started. Plenty more to come on Grace 103.14 right after this break. Commercials done. Welcome back to the show.
It's now time for Grace 103.14.
Did you know?
Did you know that the Grace Foundation has partnered with New York City Health and Hospitals to distribute free COVID at-home rapid tests? We have approximately 200 kits to give to our community friends. For nonprofit organizations and small businesses in need, we can allocate 25 kits each on a first-come, first-served basis. Please email contactus@graceofny.org if you are interested. Please do not sell them to others. Spread the word. And again, reach out to contactus@graceofny.org.
Hi, this is Brandon, coming to you live from Grace 10314. Come check out a day in our life with our great friends.
Hi, today we're cooking mashed potatoes and we're cooking red potatoes. For mashed potatoes, you want to make sure that they're cooking for about 10 to 20 minutes. And when they're done, you could add like butter or pepper or salt to them.
So, first, we took out the chicken cutlets out of the oven. And slice. Very good.
What it do? It's your boy, Matt Alonzo, coming to you live from the Grace Foundation 10314 here at Fun Station.
Let that aggression go.
Don't go away. More Grace 10314 after this break. And we're back. Grace 10314 rolls on.
How did you get into the catering business?
I always had a passion and a love for cooking and the arts. And I was actually in the automotive business first. I had an automotive repair shop on Staten Island, and that went on for many, many years. But I always had the heart and the desire to be in the food service. And then one day I decided to change careers and follow the second passion, which was food service and catering.
What do you enjoy the most about your job?
What do I enjoy the most about catering jobs? I enjoy watching people enjoy, of course, eating good food and celebrating very important parts of their life, whether it's a birthday or a wedding or an engagement party or something the Grace Foundation does. Those are always a lot of fun.
What favorite dish to make?
My favorite dish? I don't really have a favorite dish. I really like cooking a multitude of dishes. I guess my favorite cuisine would be Italian cuisine and working with seafood. Those are two of my strong points. I like creating new sauces, marinades, spices, different seasonings, and I would say those are my favorite things to do.
What else do you like the most to do? Birthdays, weddings?
Birthdays or weddings? That's a tough one. I'd probably say birthdays, because birthday is a good celebration of someone's life. My hobby? Well, actually, I like fixing things. I like tinkering with little engines. I have a small fish tank. And I like creating new dishes on my time off. My hobby is playing with food.
What do you enjoy doing on your time off?
I like sitting back and relaxing and enjoying my family and my friends and a good meal.
All of our programs are based around not just the individual, but the family, and what the family itself needs, what the level of support they need in order to do well here and do well in general. What I try to do is be incredibly creative and tuned in. The only way to tune in is to be there and to be listening to families. Figure out if somebody is interested in trains, or if they're interested in art, or they're interested in dance or song or history or science or whatever it is that they're interested in, and then create opportunities for them to have respite, which means the family has the secure feeling that their family member is being well regarded and well protected. Respite's an interesting thing, because the greatest relief a parent can ever have is knowing that their child is being respected and encouraged and productive. Time could be wasted easily, but I don't believe in wasting a second. So to me, it's about tuning in and being as open and opportunity-based as possible, and providing the right supports. You know, some people need one-to-one. They need somebody with them, next to them, helping them. Some people need space. Some people need to be with a lot of people. Some people need to be with just a few. And some like to be here for 1 hour to do their favorite thing, whereas others are here from morning till night, on a Saturday, let's say, or in the afternoon until we're done, most often after 9 p.m. You know, being on Zoom, it's interesting. I was just saying it to somebody. Being on Zoom is being in people's homes. We have such beautiful things to share that sometimes parents get on and they join a word game, or they see them dancing in the background or whatever it is, because we're in their house. And the beautiful part of that is that they've gotten to see the genuine quality and care and creativity and that we provide. We've been doing magic tricks and Magic Trick Monday, and you know, watching David Copperfield, and we never diminish nor deny anything. So it's about pride and accomplishment for everybody in general. So that is in all of our programs, no matter they're painting something, singing something, learning something. So to check out our calendar, that's what I would say, because we have lots of things going, and we're going to be reopening, which is so exciting, and it's a big undertaking. But together, I know we're all going to do great.
More segments to come on the program. Don't go away. Commercials done. Welcome back to the show.
My name is Dennis McKeon. I'm the Executive Director of Where to Turn. We're a local Staten Island not-for-profit that's been around since 9/11, so we've been doing this for 20 years. I've worked with the Grace Foundation, with Diane, for a while now. We're also on Community Board 3 together. And my son and her son were really involved in local community theater from grammar school up. So I had space upstairs, and they wanted to do Mamma Mia at the St. George Theater, and they had no place to store the sets, so I let them use upstairs, which was empty at the time. And after the show was over, we kept everything that we could reuse. We did the same thing after Cabaret and a couple of other shows. And then we just decided, you know, why not just reach out to the community and ask them if they want to donate props. Over the course of the past 18 months, we've collected over 3,000 props and over 1,000 pieces of wardrobe. that people have given us for free, and we loan them out for free to any school putting on a production, a local community theater group, people doing videos, people doing photo shoots, whatever they need, we loan them out. As long as they bring them back, they're welcome to borrow them again. Here we are at the Where to Turn Prop Shop at 22 Brianna Court. This is our wardrobe room. Everything you see here has been donated by Staten Islanders. We have everything from Christmas apparel to tuxedos. We have 35 mink coats. We have military uniforms. We have civil service uniforms and such. As you can see, we have old refrigerators like from the honeymooners. We have various things from the 60s, wheelchairs from the early 1900s. This is a Philco refrigerator. And this is how it happens. These came in today. So now we have to find space for them upstairs. But as you can see, there's some stuff that was anything but costumes went out of business, and they had an auction, so we were able to put low bids in for a lot of stuff that people wouldn't ordinarily donate. But all of the TVs and everything that you see there, even that 1949 Philco, was donated. This is one of the first electric malt machines by Hamilton Beach before they actually went enamel. So that's very, very special. When we did Cabaret, we needed 8 black telephones, and we had to scramble to get 8 black telephones. We now have about 50 phones in all colors now. We have all reel-to-reel tape recorders. We have 8-track players that kids don't even know what they are. And as you're taking pictures with your miniature camera, these are the cameras that we used to have to use with the VCR thing on the side. And this is the 1949 Philco TV I told you about. It's in perfect condition. It's real, it's not a facsimile. And then we have everything from fireplaces to trophies to luggage to knickknacks to lamps. So a little bit of everything. There's really not much that we don't have. We've been very successful. Most people that come are able to find what they need, and it saves the schools money, enables them to put on bigger shows because they don't have to rent the props, and the community theater groups as well. So all we ask is that you spread the word, let people know where we are. Again, Where to Turn Prop Shop, 22 Brianna Court, Staten Island, New York, 10309. Thank you very much. When the terrorists attacked on 9/11, we lost 29 parishioners in St. Clair's. So Monsignor Murphy at the time asked for a committee to be formed to help the 29 people. So what we did is we put together a committee, and somehow I got tagged to be in charge of the committee. And we started contacting each of these family members and asking them for things that they may need. You know, immediately following, all family was around and everything, but 6 months down the road, the families have to go on to do their own business. So we reached out for volunteers. We got over 750 volunteers, and we coordinated simple things like mowing the lawn, grocery shopping, things like that. And then while we were doing that, I went to the Attorney General's website and went through every website that was created after 9/11 and put together a First Steps of Recovery program with, you know, financial resources, counseling resources, and such. And we started having weekly meetings, and you know, originally it was just for the people from St. Clair's. Then when other people on Staten Island heard about it, we had people from the other parishes on Staten Island, and then when the people in Brooklyn and New Jersey heard about it, they started coming, and we would have, you know, over 100 people at some of the meetings. And I mentioned it before, that's where the name of Where to Turn came from, because they said they came because they didn't know where to turn. So as we were doing this, the Robin Hood Foundation had their own 9/11 fund set up. They contacted us. They said, listen, we really like the way you're doing things. We'll like to make you a 501c3. And they did. They paid for all of the legal fees and all, and that's how Where to Turn came about. Shortly after, the winter after 9/11, I got a call from a 9/11 widow who had lost a husband. He was a firefighter. And she said that he used to always shovel for his mother, and now there was nobody to shovel for his mother. So she asked if I could find a volunteer. So I said, sure, we'll find somebody. And then talking to a few people, we said, well, if we can do it for one person, why don't we try to do it for as many as possible?
So what we did is we reached out to the Staten Island community, senior citizen community, and had them register for the program. And then we went to each school on Staten Island, 7th grade and older. We offered the kids the opportunity to basically adopt a senior citizen for the winter. And they had to shovel just the sidewalk and a path to the front door at the seniors' home each time it snowed, and they would receive at the end of the winter community service credit. So what we do is, we have like almost 2,000 seniors in our database. So if you're a student and you register, we use MapQuest to find the closest senior to your home, because it has to be within walking distance. And we match them up. And we were really, really successful. At our height, we were doing about 750 seniors. Lately, with COVID and everything, it's really taken a hit. So we're really trying to, get more schools involved, find people at schools, to give us more kids to volunteer, because every time it snows, I get calls and calls and calls from seniors. We need to explain to the parents with the snow shoveling program that the student doesn't even have to interact with the senior. They can go to the house, they can shovel the sidewalk, they can shovel the steps. They don't even have to, see the senior citizen. So really, there's no interaction, so there's very little. We used to have a toy store every year where we would actually convert one of the rooms in our warehouse into a toy store, and then families could come in at Christmas and pick out toys for their kids. Years we weren't able to do that because of COVID. We couldn't have this flow of people into our warehouse. So what we did is we modified it, and we had a request in an application that families would fill out, identifying 3-year-old daughter, 4-year-old son, whatever. And then our volunteers basically bagged up accordingly, toys for that age and sex. And then we would just call the parent to come to the door, and then we would give them the bag of toys. So we basically, went with the flow. One of our favorite programs is the Senior Citizen Prom, and unfortunately for the past 2 years we weren't able to do that. Hopefully it'll be back this year. It's at Newdorp High School. It's open to the first 225 senior citizens, 65 or older. Everything's free. There's a king and queen of the prom, there's free raffles, there's a DJ, it's catered by Applebee's. They cater it for free for us. And it's a really nice time. The seniors do have a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll be able to do that. We usually do that in April, but we'll see with this year.
Don't go away. More Grace 103.14 after this break. And we're back. Grace 103.14 rolls on.
Good morning, this is Jonathan coming to you from Grace 103.14. And come check out the interview that we did at Jimmy Mac's yesterday.
Years ago, when Alexa Perugia was born and diagnosed with autism, Mike and Diane are very good friends of ours. And Diane asked both my wife and I to join the board of Grace. My wife and I had yet to have children, but we were very concerned about autism because autism runs on my wife's side of the family. There's an incidence of autism there. And so we were happy to join, and we put all of our efforts into doing any fundraising that Diane or the board would ask of us. We were one of the early board members, not a founding member, but one of the early board members on Grace. Staten Islanders like to know that their money is being spent on Staten Island and is going to Staten Island causes. And so the Grace Foundation did just that. They asked local businesses like myself to sponsor events, be sponsors in their journal ads and different events. But I often say that if you go to the local Little Leagues, you really never see a corporate, dining. Like Miller's Ale House is not going to be a sponsor. But all the small businesses, all the small restaurants, all the small mom and pop shops are always right there with sponsorships for not-for-profits across the board. I was only about maybe a couple of 100 feet from PS 21. I just walked up the street from kindergarten through 5th grade. and then went to IS 51. And one of the most important lessons I could have learned, my mom refused to buy me a pair of Puma sneakers in IS 51 because they were twice the cost of a pair of Converse or Pro Keds. And it was that reason that caused me to go look for a paper route. And I said, I'm going to buy my own Pumas. And it was a really, I mean, it may seem like a simplistic thing, but it really was the core of the reason I went to work, because I wanted better things. So I bought my Pumas with my first paycheck from the Staten Island Advance, and then went on to, you know, save money. Always was a good saver. But when I needed things, I had my own resources to purchase them. The paper, when I delivered it, was 65 cents for the week. Now, that really is dating me, but typically a customer would give you $1, and that was a 35-cent tip, which was 50% of the cost of weekly delivery. So I would make about $35 a week, but you had to collect from 105 customers weekly. And you'd chase them down, and some guys would owe you 5 weeks, and you'd want to find that guy, so, because the tips got less and less the more they owed. But you had to deliver the newspaper in the rain, you delivered it in the snow, you had to figure out how to get over snow mounds, and it really taught you a sense of responsibility, because everybody was counting on getting their Sunday paper, their coupons on days, and it really taught you that it had to be done whether you felt like going out in the cold or not. I fortunately got hired by my grandfather's cousin, Carl Danino. So my mom is a Danino, and my grandfather and Carl grew up together in Port Richmond. Carl inherited the business from his father, but my grandfather made the first pizzas in Danino's. It was 1952, I believe he told me, and fortunately for him, he later got called on to the city. He was a mechanic for the Department of Sanitation, so he didn't stay long at Danino's. But years later, I guess it was that relationship that allowed me to get a job working at Danino's, later learning how to make pizza, later learning how to tend bar, and it really gave me the foundation for all I needed to eventually run my own restaurant when we opened Jimmy Mac's in 1989. My grandfather was instrumental in helping me open the restaurant. In fact, his Sicilian mother's recipes are the foundation for all we do. Our marinara sauce, our galamad sauce, the eggplant parmesan, the lasagna, the pasta fazool, the lentils, they're all family recipes and really the foundation for all we do. When I told my grandfather I wanted to open a place, he was as excited as I was. And so he was 69 at the time. He was retired, he probably didn't need to do this, but he was just as excited as I was. And he put a $50,000 home equity loan on his house in 1989. That was probably a third to even a half of the value of his home. And he had no problem doing that. I mean, he was risking his life, his life savings to help me, launch the place. So I really owe a lot to my grandpa, John Danino, and Mary Danino. I mean, it was a joint decision. But Pop was here. My grandmother used to do flowers, and she would help clean the bathrooms. I mean, it was a real family operation. We had 4 generations under the roof the night we opened. My son James was only 15 months old. My mom was here. My grandparents were here, myself. And it wasn't an easy process. Shortly after we opened, the city of New York closed Watchog Road for an 18-month sewer project. This was in April of '89. We were only open 2 months. And that was really the impetus for me to search and come up with the idea of the pizza seminar. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but for decades now, I've been inviting kindergartners from all over Staten Island to come and learn the history of the first pizza. Pizza Margherita was created in honor of Queen Margherita of Naples, and that led me to entertain 5-year-olds all over the island, and they were anxious to come back, thankfully. Today at Jimmy Mac's, we're doing what we call the raising dough portion. And what that is we invite people from an organization. Today it's the Grace Foundation, and we donate 50% of the food portion of your check back to the Grace Foundation. We call it raising dough in the hopes that it's a clever catchphrase that people will embrace. And I look forward to you coming by, and I look forward to continuing my relationship with Grace for many years to come. All right, that does it. Another episode of Grace 10314 is in the books. The Dayhab TV crew did a great job once again. And remember, folks, the giving never ends. My name is James McBratney, and it was an honor to be your host. Hope to see you again real soon, maybe even at the Super Bowl. Take care.